My name is Trinity Jocelyn, and I'm one of the associate managing editors at the Texan. I'm also a reporting fellow at the Texas Tribune. And Abby, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Abby Johnston, and I am the deputy editor of the 19th. So I worked in life and arts, like you mentioned, and so that's when I really started doing what at the time I thought was going to be my, forever career path, which was music journalism. So I was, pitching album reviews and pitching concert reviews and kind of cultural stories. And so that was really my first time being published, honestly. And so I was able, the huge thing out of that was that I was able to learn how to pitch editors, and then I was able to take the clips that I wrote for the Texan and go and get internships that I built on. I think that the Texan were maybe the only clips I had when I applied to be an intern at Texas Monthly, and I ended up working at Texas Monthly for 4 years later. So it was hugely helpful in that way. I mean, it gave me a pathway to build my career. The other thing I did at the Texan was I was part of the web production class or staff. So I was the co-director of that. I can't exactly remember what our titles were, but basically what we would do is take all of the stories that were written and optimize them for the web and embed things and just make them look good, and even do like some kind of light HTML type stuff. And that has been also very, very big in my career. One of the sort of through lines that I've had has been that I am very good at web strategy as well as editing. And so that just kind of gave me the experience to play around and try different things and really hone this skill set that I think it was critical in getting me a lot of my first jobs, and that even is still critical to me today. It's just been like a huge thought exercise, and one that I think that started there. And again, I just had a lot of room to sort of be creative and try things that maybe I wouldn't have been able to try at a bigger newsroom or something, or a newsroom that was run by adults. And so I think it really helped my imagination and my creativity and like how we tell stories on the web. And that's something I still have to think of today. I spend a lot of time editing words, certainly, but another part of my job is thinking about how storytelling can extend beyond words. And that's something that I think if I had not had the opportunity to really like have a lot of latitude, my brain maybe wouldn't even be able to function in that way. This was maybe 2008, 2009 when I started. And so I think we were still kind of thinking in terms of blogs, which is kind of a retired word now on the internet. But it was sort of a priority of, okay, what does storytelling online look like versus in writing online look like print versus print writing. So it was an interesting time to be there. And I think that the people who were there around the same time I was, a lot of us kind of graduated into the world, and we're seeing sort of the last shifts of that. So it was a really fascinating time, and I think we were all kind of figuring it out. But we were really one of the first, I think, classes of sort of the digital native journalists. Now everyone's a digital native, but there was like a very long time in my career that I was maybe the only millennial in the room, and so there was a lot of kind of turning to me to see like, okay, so now what do we do? But it was a really interesting time to be there. So I was able to switch between a lot of different sort of fields of journalism. I went from being a music critic to going and being a congressional reporter in DC. I had kind of switched my focus when I went to grad school. And then even my grad school experience, a lot of the reason that I was able to land these really important like TA jobs and stuff like that was because I had all of this like digital background, right? So that's been the big through line for my career. And so as far as like how you end up from sort of a more life and arts background to politics. I think it's a lot of crash courses and and kind of reframing how you think of things. But you know, I again, the digital aspect of my career has been the thing that I think has been most important, and the rest of it, and being just like a thoughtful and good editor. I feel very lucky to be where I'm at. I think that what the Texan is doing now is so amazing and sophisticated, and I'm so proud to see it. You know, the work that y'all are putting out, like the digital components of it, the social media strategy, it's all so evident. You know, when our little web production team was there, and I'm sure that this is very different now, we were in charge of not only like getting everything on the site and like making it pretty and getting all of the, you know, photos and charts and things like that in there, but also doing the social media. It's all changing, right? I think, you know, as far as like my advice on like how to shift it, mostly I would just say like don't be too hard on yourselves. Like you're doing a really wonderful job, and I think that it's your newsroom is going through what every other newsroom is going through. And so I think that when you're students, you sort of just assume that you're going to get it wrong, or you're more afraid of getting it wrong, in a way that professional journalists will tell you that you just kind of have to get used to. Like, not the facts wrong, but just maybe the approach, right? And so I think that just keep learning and studying what other people are doing, and try things, you know, try to do things a little bit differently, because I think we're all in a moment where we're not entirely sure what the next day is going to bring, or how exactly we should cover this differently. It's okay to not get everything exactly right in the approach, that every other newsroom is also dealing with that.